Hey everybody, my name is Omar Ali. Welcome to TransformOveR. I am a kinesiologist, an ISSA master trainer, a 2-time certified nutritionist, and a 7-time bodybuilding champion. Our show is designed to help you make better lifestyle choices and educate you on making better decisions regarding your health and fitness. So let's go in the gym.
What encouraged me is I saw a picture of one of the clients, and she was a real success story. She had started out as a bit overweight, and within 4.5 months she had a 6-pack, she had toned arms, she had muscular legs, and I was like, wow, I'm at a plateau myself, so that's where I want to be. So actually my husband saw it online and knew I'd been looking around for a place to join, and he showed it to me, and I was like, wow, I'll go check it out, and I've been a client ever since.
Hey guys, it's Omar Ali with OFC. I wanted to take a little bit of a couple minutes, and I wanted to demonstrate a few exercises that are very, very commonly done, but they're done wrong most of the time, okay? So there's a lot of misconceptions on these particular exercises. I'm gonna take 3 main exercises, and those are the exercises that are done actually at most gyms. You know, you go to the gyms and those are the exercises that are done on a more regular basis by people, because it's the misconception of weightlifting, okay? Weightlifting doesn't just involve these particular exercises, but unfortunately, most people always involve these exercises as part of their routine, okay? The reason why I want to demonstrate those particular exercises is because they are very, very risky from an injury standpoint. If they're done wrong, they can cause, you know, some major injuries, and unfortunately I see a lot of people doing those wrong, and I do see a lot of people get injured due to those exercises in particular. The first exercise is going to be bench press, okay? That's the most commonly done exercise probably ever. The second exercise is going to be deadlifts. There's different variations of deadlifts, and we're going to look at that here in a couple of minutes. The third exercise is squats. Again, same thing, different variations of squats, but we're going to look at that in a few minutes as well. So what I'm going to do, I got Hannah Shipley here with me, and Hannah's been a client of ours for 5-6 months now. She's done absolutely phenomenal, so I feel comfortable with her demonstrating those exercises because I'm comfortable with the form that she's going to be able to use. I'm going to guide her through those exercises, and I want you to see the difference and the main key points that I actually want to emphasize on to perform those exercises properly, okay? What I have Hannah doing here is laying flat on the bench. The first thing you got to watch for is your grip width, okay? So the grip width is probably the first thing that you really want to figure out for yourself. Now, the grip width depends on the length of your arm. Everybody has a different reach, and if your arms are fairly long, or if you're a taller person, you want to go wider on the bar. For Hannah, I would like to see her pinky finger on the line right here. Now, those barbells, the Olympic barbell, lifting barbells, at every gym have lines that you can actually see. So I'm going to get Hannah's pinky on those lines. That'll give her enough width to actually target her chest muscles properly and her triceps without actually putting a lot of pressure on the rotator cuff. The rotator cuff injury is the most common injury with the bench press, okay? The second thing you want to watch for is Hannah's back is not flat on the bench. So there's an arch in her back, and that arch should always stay there during the entire set doing the exercise. The arch in your back allows your back to stay, your spinal erectors to stay active, and to make sure that you're actually putting the emphasis on the right muscle groups. And not doing that and keeping the back flat can actually round off the shoulders forward, which will result in injury. So once we're done, the feet are nice and flat on the ground, the back is arched, the hands are in the right place. I'm going to get Hannah to lift off, and I'm going to help her lift off, okay, to start at original position. Original position should be where the bar sits right across from your chest, okay? I'll get Hannah to start lowering the bar all the way down to her chest and right back up. Fantastic. The elbows stay in a neutral position, okay? So the elbows come down at about 45 degrees and back up again. And when the range of motion is straight, so it's a straight line range of motion, okay? Let's do a couple more reps. One more, all the way down and back. Fantastic. We'll put it back. Great. Now if you noticed Hannah wasn't locking her elbows at the top either, okay? So that's, again, another common mistake that people do when doing the bench press. Don't lock out at the top, okay? So your joints should never lock out because that puts direct pressure on the joint itself, okay? So you want to put as much pressure on the muscle versus the joint, okay? So those are some of the common mistakes. Again, your position is extremely important. Feet flat on the ground, back nice and arched, hands are in the right place, and that's something you're gonna have to figure out for yourself depending on your height and your reach. And obviously the tempo of the exercise, you should never go down too fast. You know, take your time, you know, give yourself nice control on the way down, and never lock out at the top, okay? So those are the rules to doing bench press properly. Thank you, Hannah.
I feel wonderful. I might be hurting a little bit, but I feel wonderful and just proud that I was able to go the whole length of the workout, work very hard at it, and just to please my instructors really, because they're telling me all the time what a good job I'm doing, how well I am, and it makes me feel good. It makes me love exercising. To be fit for the rest of my life. Not to be a bodybuilder or anything of that sort, but just to be fit, to eat healthy, of course, you know, keep my body in shape, and that'll help me into old age.
The deadlift is the second most commonly done exercise and most done wrong, probably, out of all the exercises. In my opinion, I see so many people doing deadlifts wrong, okay? Deadlifts is an exercise that targets the lower back, glutes, and hamstrings. It's a very, very effective exercise if done properly, and it raises the heart rate quite a bit. It's a compound exercise that targets a lot of the major muscle groups in the body. So I'm going to get Hannah to demonstrate the deadlift the way she's been actually taught to do it here, okay, which is the right way. Let's try to do a deadlift, Hannah. We're going to do. Okay, so I got Hannah coming in with her feet in a shoulder width stance, back nice and straight, okay, and hands in overhand grip. Now, there's two different types of deadlifts, and I will show you. The first one we're going to do is with our hands overhand both. So overhand grip on both is actually going to help us target a lot of the hamstrings and the glutes more so than the lower back, okay? So by doing the deadlift, the first thing you got to watch for is to make sure that your feet never ever leave the ground. So your heels should always stay flat on the ground, okay? So your feet don't move off the ground, you stay in the same position. The bar never leaves your legs, so don't let the bar get away from you, okay? So what I'm going to get Hannah to do is to lower the bar, slide the bar down her legs, push her hips back so her feet can stay flat on the ground, and come back up. The one most common mistake made is that when people come down, they actually start hunching their back forward. Notice how Hannah keeps her back straight the entire time. Okay, so the bend should be at the hips. This is your pivot point, okay? So the hips is the pivot point of the exercise. That's where the hinge is. The back should not hunch whatsoever. If that's done properly, then we're targeting all the right muscle groups, and our risks of injuries are slim to none.
I would say weights and cardio, and that definitely a personal trainer is the way to go. That's what motivated me. I mean, I was a regular exerciser before this. However, I didn't push myself like these guys pushed me. So they really helped me reach my goals and still reaching my end goal. So I would definitely say personal training is the way to go.
The third exercise that I wanted to kind of go over real quick, even though I can go over it all day, is the squat. Squats, different variations of squats, and we're gonna look at one or two different ones. But The most common form of squat is barbell squats, and they're called back squats in most terms, in most gyms, and that's what you hear people do. The squat is strictly a leg exercise, so it targets the quads very heavily, and it targets the glutes as well. So the legs work really, really hard when you're doing squats. If done properly, again, it's the most effective exercise for leg development and leg strength. So I'm going to get Hannah also to demonstrate a squat, but she's going to do it the way that she's actually been taught to do it, and it's the proper way. A lot of the common mistakes that are made are going to be noticed. I'm going to go over them here in a couple minutes. Okay. So doing a squat, of course, you're going to start on a squat rack, and you're going to start with a barbell. I'll get Hannah to start. We're going to go under the bar, get the bar started on the top of our shoulders. The first thing you got to watch for is where the bar is actually sitting. A lot of people put the bar up too high on their neck. Okay, that can cause you a major problem. So make sure that the bar is actually sitting on your trap, on your trapezius muscles. Okay, so it's not too far down your back where it's got a chance of sliding, and it's not too far up on your neck where it's going to actually hurt your neck muscles and your neck bones. So I'll get Hannah to lift off. Okay, come back. Make sure your feet are actually on flat ground. So same principle when it comes to squats and deadlifts. Your heels and your feet should always stay flat on the ground. Your heels should never ever lift off. The width of your feet, that's going to depend on how much flexibility you have in your hips and in your legs. Some people have to go a little bit wider in order to actually come down and get enough range of motion. Okay? So hands grip tight on the bar. Bar is sitting right on the top of the trapezius, back straight, feet flat on the ground, and with Hannah, I got her feet at about shoulder width. Okay? What we're gonna do is come back with the hips to make sure that the heels stay planted on the ground, and the pressure should be on the heels, and come down straight and right back up. Okay? So again, there's no hunch in the back. Okay? The feet are not coming off the floor, and the bar is not moving anywhere. Okay? So again, all the way down, pushing the hips back and right back up. Okay? So the pressure should be on the heels the entire time. Again, all the way down and right back up. So again, the range of motion is going to depend on each person. Obviously, try to aim for as much range of motion as possible. It targets the muscles a lot harder. It causes hypertension in the muscles a lot more, and it actually improves your strength and endurance quite a bit faster if you actually go for a full range of motion every time. Functionality is key. So we're gonna put the bar back. I'm gonna go in right ahead and back up. Okay. Thank you very much. How was that?
It's great.
Great. So if done right, it could really, really work, and it could be very, very effective. Those exercises are actually the main 3 exercises in resistance training. They're called power exercises. Really try to focus on technique, really try to focus on form. I see a lot of people going into gyms and trying to lift as heavy as possible, trying to move as much weight as possible, and forgetting about form, forgetting about technique, ending up with really bad injuries. And I see a lot of cases of lower back injuries. I see a lot of torn muscles, and I see a lot of knee problems and so forth. That's one thing that our clients never ever experience, because we teach them proper technique and proper form all the time. If you're a beginner, make sure you consult a professional and make sure you actually get the right help and the right kind of education before you actually take on a training program of that sort. But if done properly, again, it can have the most amazing benefits you can get, and it could actually improve your lifestyle in general, improve your functionality, your cardiovascular, and so forth. So I hope this helps, and stay safe, practice good form.
You just see the results very quickly, and also the interaction with the trainers. They're both great guys, and they're just very easy to talk to, and it makes the workout that much more fun and enjoyable. and it makes you want to come back.
So let's start by talking about proteins. Proteins are the building blocks of muscle in the body. So right there, that puts them at the top of the pyramid in my book. Proteins are extremely important for multiple reasons, but without getting into too much detail, I would suggest having a proper serving size of protein in every single meal. Now, your best protein sources come typically from meats. Having obviously a lean protein source is better, such as egg whites, chicken, fish, and extra lean beef or certain cuts of beef. Especially, obviously, if you have fresh sources, that's the very best. But ensure that you have the proper portion size of protein in every single meal. Otherwise, it would not be a balanced meal. And we can go into a little bit more detail regarding serving sizes at a later time.
So, I want to talk about nutrition a little bit today, and the main thing that I want to say about nutrition is get away from the diet. You probably, I need to clarify this a little bit. Honestly, when it comes to nutrition, I always tell everybody this, and you know the reason you know for many of the client successes that I've had over the years is get away from the diet and learn to eat healthy. Learn about nutrition. Learn what your body actually requires in a run of a day. Start to understand how your body works and how your body responds to nutrition. Now, that's easier said than done, because everybody is different. Not everybody, there isn't two people the same. Some people have certain needs and certain allergies to some things, certain intolerances to some things. Some people have a different metabolism rate than other people. And but the key factor is if you're educated enough about nutrition. If you have a nutritionist or a coach that can actually help you develop a plan to learn the things that your body responds to well, and learn the things that you should eat on a regular basis for fuel, to fuel your body properly, then you wouldn't need to diet. Dieting and doing a crash diet isn't an answer, because you'll always gain the weight back. Most people, yo-yo diet and always, drop their weight and come back down and then go back up, because they get sick of the diet and they can't do it anymore. That's only understandable. That makes perfect sense, because it's hard to stay on something that is only temporary. Okay, but if you're doing something that's just a habit, if you're educated about nutrition, it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit to eat healthy, to eat a certain way, to have a certain way of eating, a certain way of living, and that will solve the problem forever, because you will never need to diet again. What you might need to do once in a while is maybe amp your training and the intensity of your activity once in a while a little bit to see some changes in your physique quite a bit. But as long as you're eating healthy and you follow a proper nutrition plan and a proper way of eating all the time, then you'll never really need to diet. You'll always be in the healthy range. You're getting all the calories that you need. You're getting the proper nutrients that you need. Your body is fed really well, not only from a physique standpoint or fat loss standpoint, but also from a health standpoint. It's a lot easier on your organs. It's a lot easier on your muscle functions. Neurologically, it makes you feel better, and yeah. It's beneficial in every which way. I'm sure there's a lot of medications that can be dropped just by following proper eating and proper nutrition. So that's a little bit that I want to talk about nutrition a little bit today, but we'll go into more depth in other segments of the show. The most important part, and what I tried to cover today, to sum it up, is there is no such thing as one good diet. I get asked that all the time. Omar, what's the best diet out there? There's no diet. Okay, don't diet. That's the best diet. Do not diet. Just learn how to eat healthy. Education is the most crucial part about nutrition. So learn how to eat healthy. Educate yourself. Read articles online. Ask people like myself. There's great coaches in nutrition and fitness out there. Once you learn it once, that's it. That's all it takes. Then you take off and you'll always be where you need to be. The second macronutrient that I wanted to talk about is fats. Fats are extremely important to the body. They're a really, really good energy source from a calorie standpoint, and also the human body is very dependent on fats in a lot of ways. But there's good fats and there's bad fats. The human body is dependent on the good fats, of course. So good fats, the best good fats, are known as omega-3. So omega-3 is the top of the pyramid as far as fat sources are concerned and their use to the body. And omega-3 sources are found in avocados and nuts in general, walnuts, almonds, Brazilian nuts, hazelnuts, and so forth. Other sources, maybe like olive oil, has some omega-3 in them. Even actually egg yolks have some omega-3 in them, obviously in moderation. And again, we can talk about serving sizes at a later time. But stay away from anything that really has low omega-3 or doesn't have any omega-3, and stay at the very top of the pyramid and always aim to get as much omega-3 as possible from the food sources that you get.
Thank you for watching our show, guys. This is TransformOveR. Before we leave today, I want to leave you with one of the most important advices I can really give anybody, okay? When it comes to success, as far as weight loss and health and fitness go, my advice to you is this. It's never the destination, it's the change, it's the journey that leads to the destination. If you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always gotten. So make that change. Shift your focus from the goal to the changes that are going to lead you to the goal. It's the way that you're going to follow. It's the path that you're going to follow that will take you to those goals. Your goals are a result of the changes that you're going to make. That's the advice that I have for you today. Thank you for watching again. My name is Omar Ali.